So,
Hello, my name is Dante Vega. I am a part of the Ace of Spades.
hello, my name is Ernesto Duarte Hernandez, and I am the second member of Ace of Spades.
So, to start things off, when we heard about our placement in the regionals, to say simply, we were very shocked. Since this was our first year, after all, we didn't really know if we would make it that far. But thanks to you guys were able to allow us to continue this passion even further than we expected, and we thank you for that. And as soon as we heard that, we got very excited about what to do next. One of the problems we had, though, was the ending was just a bit vague. Back in the regional version of the game, the ending, we didn't really have much of an idea what to do, so the story, we just didn't really know how to create a story beyond what was given to us.
So, as Dante has said, when we found out that we made it, we both got we were very happy, we were very glad that we made it, and thanks to you guys, the feedback that you guys gave us about the game, that is going to help a lot in improving the game, making sure that it meets some of the expectations that we were told, or that we heard. And after that, we started to brainstorm again, like you said. We started to brainstorm many ideas of what could possibly be the next step of the game. And after a couple of days and a couple of, maybe 2 weeks, we set ourselves for deadlines that each week we're going to have specific things done for the game, because we knew that we only had a limited amount of time. So we didn't want to spend 3 weeks planning it out and then spend 1 week rushing everything in there. So we try to keep it under 1 week to plan out the game, and then the next 2 weeks try to making sure that everything, making drafts of the game, so that make sure that it actually starts working, so that later we can actually make the game and it actually works.
Which then leads us to this. The idea about making it fighting off this giant thing right here was completely on a whim. When we were brainstorming on the first week of making the state version of the game, we were pretty much just shooting spitballs like it was on regionals. Just figuring out how we can make these characters do more things. And I thought that if we put them up against this giant opponent, it could possibly make sense in the way of a story. The next thing we had to worry about, though, was how everything would flow. Now, after hearing what you guys talked about when it came to the gameplay and the level design, we decided to spice things up a little bit. Things that we learned a few things while we were building these new levels. One of the things we've learned was how to make unique level designs in a sense where it'll still be the exact same game, but with a different style. And what I mean by that is the layout will just be completely different, and that's one of the ideas we have.
So as you can see on the screen, the starting skin of the game is not like the regional version of the game, which in that one we had to use many shapes, in which that made actually the game run slower. So this time we decided to go with more in a different direction. Instead of making shapes, now we're actually going to be able to, now we're going to draw them and instead import them to the software that we're using, so that make sure that the game will run smoother and we can add more things, more details, so it can be a bit more unique than what it was last time.
Exactly. And it wasn't just that. A lot of the music you listened to back in the regional version, that was all completely made in just a sampling program, which I used back in my computer science class, but I used it again for regionals. But this time I had to learn a little bit of music theory and composition, and pretty much had to start from scratch making the music for this game. So for that alone, it was a great experience to just learn something new and for something that I wanted to do. But when we start getting to the actual gameplay, that was a very tricky part for us to just understand, as I distinctly remember you guys talking, or well, if it's new judges, I distinctly remember the regional judges normally talking about how they like the idea of decaying tower defense, but the thing is, we just couldn't really have defenses placed down. But that changes in state.
Like Dante said, the judges before told us that they wanted to be able to move their defenses to the certain areas they wanted to, instead of just deciding just to repair them right there on the spot. So what we made is we're still trying several methods of trying to make that work, which we're gonna try to make that work by the end of this week or by the end of like the middle of next week, because the rest of the game still has to be developed. But we're on a good pace so far to keeping everything done before the end of before the beginning of April. We're gonna have pretty much basically the whole game done. And like again, this time we have more concept art than last time, because last time we didn't really have that much. We just started like actually programming before actually making the art, and now this time we got more concept art, so that we have an idea of exactly how we're going to be able to make the game more different than what it was last time.
And that taught us something else too. What both of us learned is that how do we design a world? When we were making this, we didn't really know how to flesh it out, like I said earlier. But what we did is we spent a week and a half just designing things, endlessly thinking about ideas and possibilities on how we can make this world work, and going through several drafts. Normally, what we did was basically it was a very bad hand-drawn sketch version. Then we used the digital shapes given to us in our software, and then if it's good, we give it to him. I give it to him to help draw it out, and that gave us the perfect way to create this new world, which anyone could just go into, and allowed us to explain the story in more than just text, and even allow us to just have a story in general. And that was just a great way to learn so many different things, and it was really good to just understand other facets of game design than what we knew already. Yeah.